parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. Run routine, we do it best is we. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. 473 so we wet. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. Run routine, we do it best like Skilly Bag. We have the whole place locked. We running good, we running road non-stop. We play mass real mass and is that. And if you want to find us, well we day up now. When I say to run up and down, just come and no man. Put your racks up and whip up your hand. Drink rum and start to get on. Play mass, just come and no man. It's we are those mash up party. We are those mash up fest. It's we are those mash up party. 473 so we wet. It's we are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. Run routine, we do it best is we. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. 473 so we wet. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. Run routine, we do it best. When we play mass, you know we going all in. We drinking mad dog, telling we don't want no soft thing. We pumping all night, we going till the morning. And we don't want nobody come and tell we nothing. When I say to run up and down, just come and no man. Put your rags up and whip up your hand. Drink rum and start to get on. Play mass, just come and no man. It's we are those mash up party. We are those mash up fest. It's we are those mash up party. 473 so we wet. It's we are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. Run routine, we do it best is we. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. 473 so we wet. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. Run routine, we do it best like Skilly Bag. We have the whole place locked. We running road non-stop. We play mass real mass and is that. And if you want to find us, well we day up now. When I say to run up and down, just come and no man. Put your racks up and whip up your hand. Drink rum and start to get on. Play mass, just come and no man. It's we are those mash up party. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up party. So we went. Road runner. Put money in your clothes. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest. We are those mash up parties.
Greetings and salutations one and all. How you doing?
We do it best is we are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest.
You're mashing up some party, mashing up some fete around there.
So we wet. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up fest.
Welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Stewart's Healthy Love Night.
Like Skilly Bag, we have the whole place locked. We running road non-stop. We play mass real mass and is that.
I want to say big ups to each and everyone locked in right now.
When I say to run up and down, just come and
those on TuneIn Radio.
Put your racks up and whip up your hand.
The channel is called The Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew.
Play mass, just come and no man. It's we are those mash up party.
I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on the affiliate stations all over the globe.
Parties, we are those mash up fest.
Those locked in the UK on One Harmony Radio. Top of the morning to you guys.
We are those mash up party. 473 so we wet. We are those
big ups King Genius, big up Queen Genius. Much love to you guys.
Those mash up party.
Top of the morning to ya.
Mass, you know we going all in. We drinking mad.
Much love to my friends over there in New Jersey.
We pumping all night. We going till the morning.
Bless up, brother, the motivator.
We nothing. When I say to run up and down, just come and no man. Put your rags up and whip up your hand. Drink rum and
NIE Radio well representing.
Play mass, just come and no man.
Holding it down there.
This week we had us mash up
in New Jersey.
Mash up fest.
Big ups to everybody over there in New York. Island worldwide, exhibiting the power of music.
We had us mash up fest. We had us mash up party. Run routine we do it.
Much love, China Nicole.
Mash up party.
Gary, how you stay?
We had us mash up party. 473 so we went. We had us mash up parties. We had us mash up fest. We had us mash up.
I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com.
We running non-stop.
Mr. Lindsay, the veteran in the business.
And if you want to find us, well, we day up now.
Big ups to you, sir.
Just come and no man. Put your rags up and whip up your hand. Drink rum and start to get on.
want to say big ups to those who are locked in out of Texas. I know they do things big in Texas, right? It's not one, it's not two, it's three platforms. Much love to you guys over there. Aliwap Radio, Dusik Media Group, and the WGLRO, home of the Donny Walker Morning Show. Taking from the sheets to the streets, touching from Detroit to Denmark and all points in between. Much love, Danny. Big ups to those who are locked in on PEMGTV.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Big ups to the family locked in on Clubhouse. The club is called the Stew Pot. Those on Facebook Live, much love to you too. Those on Clubhouse and Facebook, remember it's only a segment broadcast, so don't get too comfortable, yeah? Big up to the massive that are locked in on YouTube tonight. Yeah man, several live video platforms running tonight. All available on kevinstew.com, of course. Hey Marva, how you doing? We are the smash up fest. We are the smash up party. Run routine we do it when we play mass. You know we going all in. We drinking mad dog, tell them we don't want no. Big ups to those who are locked in on kevinstew.com, of course. Home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Put your racks up and whip up your heart. Drink rum and start to get high. Play mass just for my normal. I want to say thank you to my affiliates. And thank you to my segment sponsors. Pulse Media Group. When being in a moment is priceless, give them a call. 754-999-1140. What can they do for you? Everything you see here on kevinstew.com and more. Have a church service, a wedding, a party, a graduation, a funeral, a seminar, anything you want to stream live on a secure platform, whether it is yours or theirs. Give them a call. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. What number do you use? 754-999-1140. Drink rum and start to get I want to say thank you to Althea and her healing heavenly hands. Althea is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you, bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience. Give her a call or email her. Phone number 954-655-9000. That's 954-655-9000. Or email her at thealater@att.net. That's THEALATER@att.net. Schedule your appointment today. If you're in Broad County, North Miami-Dade or South Palm Beach counties, or you're traveling to any of those places, go ahead and call her up, schedule your appointment. She only has one request outside of paying her. You get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done. It's called the Kevin Stew Clause. I'm always falling asleep on that table. I want to say thank you to Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global acts as your booking agents, handle your tour management, your business registration, legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and so much more. Give them a call, 954-804-8199, or check them out online at reggaeglobal.com. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Drink rum and start to get high. Play mass just for my normal. Thank you to McNeil Trucking. They're licensed and insured movers in the state of Florida. With McNeil Trucking, your goods are in good hands. Give them a call today, 954-406-9740. You want to move from point A to point B, put some things in storage, don't have the equipment, don't have the manpower, no worries. Call McNeil Trucking, 954-406-9740. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you. Hey Arville, how you doing, bro? Hello, Nadia. Put your racks up and whip up your hand. Drink rum and start to get high. Play mass just for my normal. I do want to remind you all that it's that time of the year. What time is it? It's approaching Mother's Day. And if you haven't ordered anything yet, go ahead and place your order now. Don't wait day later. Visit my website, my Mary Kay site. That is, yes, I am an independent Mary Kay consultant. Go to marykay.com/Kevin Stew. Find something for your wife, your mother, your sister, your auntie, your cousin, anybody that you know that is worthy of celebrating Mother's Day. And if they're not, get them something anyway. Help them to get ready. That's marykay.com/Kevin Stew. If that's too much for you, go to kevinstew.com. There is a link right there. Just click on it and go shopping.
We are those mash up party 473, so we wet. We are those mash up parties. We are those mash up friends.
Also remember, coming up on Saturday, it happens each and every Saturday, Rhythms of the Heart. It's a GMAT Music Solutions event. It happens at Eats 876 downtown Fort Lauderdale. It's 627 South Andrews Avenue. It's right beside the Publix. There's parking in the back, but there's also a big parking garage right across the street. Doors open at 8 p.m. Ladies are free all night. Gents, don't let the ladies party alone. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. Doors open at 8. Live music starts at 9. Yeah, man, we're mashing up parties, we're mashing up fits. The sound of Skull Dog kicking off things tonight.
We play
The track is called Come On Man. Is we. Yeah, getting your energy up. If it's not up yet, get it up. Do call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. It's a night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, Healthy Love Night. And tonight, we're looking at some hearty activity, and you should be active already if you haven't been bouncing yet and getting your heart rate up. I can play the music for just a couple more seconds for you if you want. Well, I'll do it anyway. As I tell you to call a friend, tell a friend, and use up the phone line. The line is always open. 773-789-STEW. That gets you in touch. Live and in living color. 773-789-7839. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram. You really have no excuse why you can't call. All available mediums are available. Well, if they're available, then of course they are available.
We play and if you want to.
So those of you on Facebook, those of you watching live, whether on Facebook, YouTube, or kevinstew.com, you see the number scrolling across the bottom of your screen. That's the number to use to get you in touch. It's 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839 for those of you who are not alphanumeric savvy. 773-789-7839. So, according to OutsideOnline.com, there is some new. I don't know these days when people call things new. We're not too sure how new is. But apparently there's some more recent evidence on heart health in endurance athletes. So with that's kind of where I'm going with tonight's topic. You know, we're looking at some hearty activity. You know, is the activity good for your heart or is it not? That's pretty much where we're trying to land. We're seeing if we can get some views, some opinions, some answers. When I posted this broadcast for tonight, Nurse Marva Riley commented on the post, and she said back in her 30s, when she was diagnosed with a heart condition, the very first thing her doctor said to do was start walking. And for some, you would think, okay, my heart is not functioning well, I need to rest. For others, it is, my heart is not functioning well, I need to assist it in functioning properly. So which way is the right way? Is there a right way, or is there just a way that needs to be understood that we can navigate? Because when it comes to an individual and their health, I really don't believe there's a one size fits all. So it is up to you, the individual, and the case, your situation, your level of health. It's up to you to know what you can handle, what you can't handle, and then relay that information to your doctor, and then you talk about it moving from that point on. So after years of debate on the dangers of too much exercise, if there's such a thing, I don't know, researchers sum up the state of current knowledge. Now, according to the article, about a decade ago, a series of studies emerged with the counterintuitive message that modest amounts of exercise might actually be bad rather than good for your heart. So, don't do the occasional exercise, you need to be doing the whole lot of exercise? Huh. The newspaper headlines, one running shoe in the grave. These were almost gleeful. The evidence, on the other hand, well, that was a bit weak. That debate almost has mostly faded out of the headlines. But the question, these haven't stopped. They haven't been completely dismissed. Some of the initial fear-mongering about the dangers of, for example, training for a marathon or even running more than a few times a week were clearly nonsense. But who knew? But there are plenty of ultra runners and Ironman triathletes and cycling junkies that are racking up huge amounts of training numbers. And for these people, the evidence about possible risk is more sparse and more ambiguous. The good thing about all the debate is that it launched a bunch of studies. And these results have begun slowly trickling in over the last few years. And this article was actually released in 2021. So we're talking about this being some of the latest information as it relates to heart health. Now, a review in the European Heart Journal led by Gemma Parry-Williams and Sanjay Sharma of St. George's University of London sums up the current evidence about the heart of the aging endurance athlete. While there are still plenty of unanswered questions, there have been some advances since the last comprehensive look at this debate back in 2016. The most solid evidence for potentially negative heart changes associated with long-term serious endurance training relates to elevated coronary artery calcium, CAC, the scores relating to them. Now, the gradual buildup of calcium-rich plaques causes narrowing and stiffening of the coronary arteries, which supply blood to your heart muscles. These plaques can also rupture, blocking the artery completely and causing a heart attack. That's pretty concerning information. The CAC score measures how much calcium has accumulated in your arteries, so anything that increases it seems like bad news. Well, what is new is how we interpret those scores in runners. When Sharma's group studied 152 masters endurance athletes with an average age of 54, 11% of them had a CAC score of greater than 300. Now, something to note here is that score is considered very high. And this is compared to none of the 92 people in the age-matched control group. Now, that was concerning. And other studies have reached similar conclusions. Now, not all plaques are equal, though. And I guess you hear plaque buildup and in your heart, and you immediately think, okay, so that's a recipe for disaster. But yes, there is a but. So not all plaques are created equal. Some are smooth, hard, and calcified, and these are considered stable and less likely to rupture. Others are a softer mix of cholesterol, fats, calcium, and other substances. And these mixed plaques are more dangerous. And these are more likely to rupture. Now, the athletes, it turns out, had 72% stable calcified plaques, while the controls had just 31%. So, is it bad to have plaque buildup in these arteries? Well, it depends on the type of plaque. So here it is. They go on to say that, hey, listen, it's not clear why exercise seems to rupture or seems to produce more plaques in a small minority of endurance athletes, nor why those plaques seem to be more stable. There are various theories involving mechanical stress on the arteries, high blood pressure during exercise, inflammation, hormone levels, and the list goes on. But there's an interesting parallel that has emerged in recent research. Statins, a type of drug widely prescribed to people with high cholesterol, also seem to increase arterial calcium levels and produce denser, more stable plaques, which may be one of the reasons they are so effective at lowering the risk of heart attacks. Huh. Now we connect the dots. But that doesn't necessarily mean that calcified arteries are nothing to worry about. But it does suggest that CAC scores, which don't differentiate between calcium in stable situations versus unstable plaques, it don't carry the same meaning. The CAC scores, that is, they don't carry the same meaning in endurance athletes as they do in non-athletes. Now, there's another issue that seems to be a bit more common in endurance athletes, and that is AFib, arterial fibrillation. And it's an irregular heartbeat originating in the atria, which is the upper chambers of the heart. And this comes and goes. It's relatively common, affecting 2.7 million Americans, and way less serious than other arrhythmias like ventricular fibrillation. It is, however, linked to an elevated risk of strokes, heart failure, and other issues, at least in non-athletes. So what does this mean for the athletes? Well, by some estimates, middle-aged endurance athletes are 5 times more likely than non-athletes to develop AFib. This evidence is not perfect. One alternate theory is that athletes are simply more likely to notice that their heart is fluttering and thus are diagnosed more frequently. And athletes are also less likely to have other risk factors like high blood pressure that combine with AFib to raise the risk of serious outcomes like strokes. The most interesting question is why athletes would be more susceptible to AFib. And again, there's a bunch of different mechanisms proposed, including changes in the electrical pulse of the heartbeat and stretching, inflammation, or scarring of the heart tissues. There are also some more benign possibilities. One is simply that bigger hearts, which is common with endurance trainers, have bigger atria. So there's more tissue where a slight irregularity could trigger a bout of AFib. Who knew bigger hearts led to situations like this? In support of that idea, tall people are more likely to have AFib than and also large animals like elephants and horses. These get more AFib than smaller animals, like, say, a rat. Now, the idea that prolonged endurance exercises causes fibrosis or scarring of the heart is probably the most worrying possibility of them all. The evidence here is, well, convoluted. As the review explains, when you fire up the cardiac MRI machine, there are several types of scarring that you're going to find. One is small focused points of scarring at the hinge points. This is where the two chambers of the heart connect. By some estimates, 40% of male masters athletes and 30% of female masters athletes have this type of scarring. It is thought to be the result of years of high pressure jumping and large volumes of blood, but studies have not found any evidence that it leads to health problems. Who knew? So, what is then the situation? What's going on? Well, you might also find more diffuse patches of scar tissue in the heart muscle, which can either be the result of temporary shortage of oxygen or the after effects of a mild bout of myocarditis, which is an inflammation of the heart muscle. Now, it's not entirely clear whether endurance athletes have more of this type of scarring, in part because it's hard to figure out what control group to compare them to. Now, some of you might be familiar with a lot of talk about myocarditis in recent health releases in the past, well, within the last, I would say, 18 months. Yeah, there's a reason for that. Just follow the trail, follow the trail, and ask questions. But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole tonight. I'm trying not to. So, sedentary people tend to have a bunch of other cardiac risk factors like high cholesterol and blood pressure, which biases the comparison in one direction. But if you select only sedentary people without those risk factors, you have an unnaturally healthy group that biases the comparison in another direction. So, where do you strike a balance? How do you strike a balance? Is there a balance to strike? In Sharma's group of 152 masters athletes, 11% had diffuse patches of scar tissue. Of those, 2/3 had a pattern consistent with myocarditis, which likely has nothing to do with exercise. The other third had a pattern consistent with temporary oxygen shortage, or, in other words, a subclinical mini heart attack. But only half of those had signs of blockage in the relevant coronary artery. And in each case, the blockage was less than 50%, making it unlikely to have caused a mini heart attack. Now, something to note here. At this point, we're talking about 3 of the 152 athletes. So, how strong of a case would they have? Now, Sharma's control group was healthy. Sedentary non-athletes matched to have the same cardiac risk factors as the athletes. A similar study published last year, so this is 2020, by University of Toronto researchers instead compared endurance athletes in training an average of 7.6 hours a week to active controls meeting public health guidelines by exercising up to 3 hours a week. In this case, both groups had equivalent patterns of scarring, suggesting that it's simply wear and tear that accumulates with age and activity. So, is it a bad thing? In this case, it is not. Now, there's some more information that I have to present to you, but I'm going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I look at some more of this information. I'm going to look at some kinds of exercise that actually boost your heart health. And based on what we looked at already, I'm not going to go through the whole article for you, but it is available online. You can find it at outsideonline.com. And so you can go check out that article and look at the rest of it, because there's a section of it that speaks to death. But one thing to note from that section is the only death data that they had was observational. So you ask a large group of people how much the exercise they did do, then wait to see how long it takes them to die. That kind of a thing. So that kind of data is really just flawed, to say the least. But there's that more information that you can go ahead and look up yourself. What we're going to do right now is take a quick little break. We're going to say see you to the guys over on Facebook Live, those on Clubhouse. This is where we're going to part company. And the broadcast continues on kevinstew.com. There are 2 mediums that you can watch live on. There is a new player that we're trying out on the site, and there's the YouTube player. So both are live. If you get any buffering on one, just go to the other and you can watch live. Of course, the affiliates are all out there. TuneIn is there also. There are several ways that you can participate in this broadcast. Of course, we want you to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too, because they have hearts also. And so this information affects everybody. Of course, you want your enemies' hearts to stop, but they're friends to someone else. Somebody loves them. They can't be enemies to everybody, okay? So information is for them too. And look at it this way. You can just love them to death. We'll be back in just a few moments. Facebook Live, Clubhouse, deuces to you.
Policy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulse Media Group.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Reggae Global Entertainment presents the brand new self-titled album from Yishka with 9 great songs. Oh Baby Let Me Love You.
Oh, baby.
Be grateful for life.
Be grateful for life.
Shake you down.
Girl, I wanna shake you
What else can I do?
What else can I do?
Babe, come over.
Baby, come over.
My. It's our time.
You know I love you.
For your love.
I would do anything.
I'm falling.
In love again.
Yishka. 9 great songs. Available on all streaming platforms.
You sure look good tonight.
Available now.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather, just to please the devil never. Will DJ Kevin Stew sell his soul? That's a word and honor. It's Christine representing word and honor. Selassie DJ Kevin Stew.
The struggles of life face us each day. Gotta take this journey all the way. We've gotta face reality. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Come on, let's live in harmony. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. We have daughters, we have sons, so much work left to be done. What you believe you will achieve. So let's get together, everyone. Join hands and hearts together, take a stand. Big truth and rights to every man. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Struggles of life face us each day. Gotta take the journey all the way. We gotta face reality. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Come on, let's live in harmony. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race.
The sound of Marcia J. Ball.
No matter how hard, we gotta survive.
A track called Time Change.
Times are changing before our face. We can't drop.
Welcome back to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stewart's Healthy Love Night.
No matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing.
This segment brought to you courtesy of Althea and Her Healing Heavenly Hands.
Race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive.
Tonight we're looking at healthy hearty activity.
Can't drop out of this race.
I tell you about hearty activity.
How hard we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard we gotta.
And with time changing, things happening, we can drop out of this race at any time. But what are we doing to take care of our hearts? Is it that we can run more races, literally, and end up being in a better position? Things that make you go, Because, they're, worthy. That's bottom line. They are, worthy. So, coming back to the matter at hand. I didn't part company with Facebook Live and Clubhouse. Come on over, kevinstew.com. Let me see. 2 players on kevinstew.com that you can use. The new one and the YouTube one. They're both right there, kevinstew.com. Of course, you can jump into the stew pot and participate. Those of you wondering what the stew pot is, it's what others call a chat room. But because we're fancy on kevinstew.com, it is the stew pot. So come on over. Don't be shy. Be interactive. And let's talk. Yeah, some beeping going on the telephone here. Let me see if it's any of you guys trying to reach me. Doesn't seem to be. All right, cool. But the phone line is open for you, 773-789-STEW. Let me just run it across the screen one more time as I part company with Facebook Live and Clubhouse. 773-789-7839. One more time for you that are slow with the numbers. Not calling you slow or anything like that. 773-789-7839. Marva, what was that you were saying? I don't see what you were saying, Marva. You were talking about atrial fibrillation. Yeah. So what kind of exercises are there that can boost your health? Now, according to hopkinsmedicine.org, being physically active is a major step towards good heart health. It is one of your most active or most effective tools for strengthening the heart muscle and keeping your weight under control and warding off the artery damage from high cholesterol, high blood sugar, and high blood pressure that can lead to heart attack or stroke. Now, I guess when you look at the information that we looked at before we went on the break, and the fact that we learned something more about some of the activities that can cause some scarring of the heart, and that is not bad scarring. And we learned that some of these activities also cause plaque buildup, and it's not a bad plaque buildup. So here it is, the damage that can be caused from high cholesterol, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, that can lead to heart attack and stroke, look the same or look quite similar to some of the damage that is caused from activity. Now, it's also true that different types of exercises are needed to provide complete fitness. Aerobic exercise and resistance training are the most important for heart health, says John Hopkins exercise physiologist Kerry J. Stewart, ED, or Ed D, sorry. I don't know if we're related, but I need to look her up. Kerry says, although flexibility doesn't contribute directly to the heart health, it's nevertheless important because it provides a good foundation for performing aerobic and strength exercises more effectively. Now, here are some of the different types of exercises that can benefit us. Aerobic exercise. Now, this improves circulation, which results in lowered blood pressure and heart rate. In addition, it increases your overall aerobic fitness and measured by a treadmill test, for example, and it helps your cardiac output, how well your heart will pump. Aerobic exercise also reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes, and if you already live with diabetes, it helps you control your blood glucose. So it's good. How much should you do? Well, ideally, you want to get in about 30 minutes a day, at least 5 times a week. So I guess if you're getting in more times, you can do it less times for the week. But ideally, that's what you want to do. And examples, types of aerobic exercise you can do is brisk walking, running, swimming, cycling, playing tennis, doing jump rope. Any heart pumping aerobic exercise is the kind that doctors have in mind when they recommend at least 150 minutes per week of moderate activity. Oh, here comes a call. And this is one call that I don't even let the phone ring more than 2 times before I pick it up. Good evening to you.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, Marva. Nurse Marva Riley, author of not one but 2 books, Eat, Sleep, Meditate, and Share. Simple, healthy, easy, inexpensive recipes.
You got good memory.
Hey, practice makes perfect. How are you, Marva?
I'm a little sleepy.
Yeah, it's past your bedtime, but I appreciate
Past my
you calling.
bedtime. Yes, I just had to. I listened for half an hour, and
Yes.
I said I need to go to my bed. I've been so sleepy, and then I said, you know what? I'm gonna call in for a few minutes and just chat a little bit.
Go ahead and help us out here because lately on social media, well, not just lately, it's something that you have been putting out there on social media for a while. Your first book, Eat, Sleep, Meditate, doesn't quite speak to exercise.
It actually does. The
meditate part?
the title of the book does not mention exercise,
right.
But I have a whole section on exercise.
Yes.
Because in that book, Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health, I told my story of having end-stage heart disease. I was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy.
Yes.
And the muscles of my heart were very weak. Muscles of my heart were functioning at 35%. And 60 and above is considered normal by most cardiologists.
Right.
And at that time, I was told that perhaps if I did not get a heart transplant, I would not live. I had, you mentioned atrial fibrillation, ventricular fibrillation. There's atrial tachycardia and ventricular tachycardia, meaning the heart is beating very fast.
Yes.
And I had ventricular tachycardia, which you could just die suddenly from that.
Right.
Well, the first cardiologist I went to was treating me with drugs, and it wasn't helping at all. And to be honest with you, at that time I could not walk. You were talking about exercising. I couldn't exercise at that time because I was very short of breath and very dizzy. I just couldn't do anything.
Yes.
And I went to see an electrophysiologist. That's a physician who deals with the electrical activity of the heart. And he told me then that I have an electrical issue with my heart. He did a procedure to correct it. And when I went back for my follow-up visit in, I think it was maybe 3-4 days, he said to me, I want you to cut out coffee. I want you to walk a minimum of half an hour, 5 days a week. I want you to decrease your stress level, eat properly, and take care of yourself. And I've never turned back. Now, when I had the heart disease, I was very short of breath. And so I didn't tolerate any kind of activity.
Right.
After he did the procedure, he took me off every pill and he said, I want you to walk. And I started walking. Initially, I could do 5 minutes, and I increased to 10 minutes. And eventually, I was doing up to an hour every day that I was off from work, which was like four days a week. Well, very soon, the ejection fraction, which measures the muscle strength of the heart, went from 35% to 65 to 55%, and then 65%.
When you said very soon, over what period of time you were talking about?
Perhaps about 6 months.
Mm.
With time, it got so good that, I mean, you would have a hard time keeping up with me when I was walking. And I remember probably about a year after that, I went to see another cardiologist, not the electrophysiologist, a regular cardiologist that I had not seen before. I used to work with him.
Yes.
And he arranged to do a treadmill stress test on me.
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't believe it. I mean, he was cranking up the incline on that treadmill and the speed on that treadmill, and I aced it. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure that if I was not walking, because that's what my cardiologist said to me, walking will help to strengthen the muscles of the heart. Just like how when we walk, the muscles of our thigh and our calves get stronger.
Right.
It helps the muscles of the heart also to get stronger. And so walking is man's best medicine. Hippocrates is called the father of Western medicine, and he was around before the time of Jesus. And he said, walking is man's best medicine. Now, why is walking man's best medicine? Walking helps with sleep. Walking helps with anxiety and depression. It puts you in a better mood, especially if you walk outside in the sun. Walking reduces your blood pressure. Walking helps with your cholesterol. It helps to strengthen your heart. Walking helps to strengthen the muscles of your lung.
Mm-hmm.
Walking helps with digestion, helps to prevent and reverse constipation. It helps with your muscles and your joints. Overall, walking even helps with the skin.
Mm.
Okay, so overall, walking is medicine.
Yes.
Now, I listened to quite a bit, at least half an hour of your talk, of your research. Yeah. And I think a lot of the issues that they're finding with these research is that we tend to overdo. We always think that more is better.
Mm.
And I know I won't name the family member, but I have a family member, a young person who is a runner, has been a runner for years.
Yes.
And I remember I used to say to him, you should not run on concrete, because many years ago I had a torn ligament in my knee and a dislocated patella. I couldn't walk, and no matter what therapy I did, didn't help. So I had to have surgery on my knee. And when they went in there, it was a mess. And the physical therapist said to me, do you run? I said, no, I walk. He said, what do you walk on? I said, I usually walk on the sidewalk. I said, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You should walk on dirt, grass, or sand.
Mm-hmm.
And he even told me that walking and running on treadmill at the gym can be a problem because they don't change the belt of the treadmill.
Right.
And so the belt of the treadmill gets worn out. And it's as if you're running or walking on a sidewalk. But there's no cushion.
Yeah.
And I spoke to that person and said, you should not be running on concrete. Oh, I'm going to run. He's young, of course, and really young. Well, right now, that young man is 37 years old and he cannot run because he has
cartilage damage.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. So we tend to, in all honesty, there is a movement. There has been a movement for a while of more is better. The heavier the weight you lift, the better. Now, weightlifting is good. In fact, I started incorporating weightlifting
I see that.
this year. Yes. And we need resistance training for our muscles and also to maintain the weight, etc.
Yes.
But more is not always better. There are plenty guys that when I used to go to the gym in Fort Lauderdale, they injured their shoulder, they injured their elbow, they have to be out for months because they lift too heavy a weight.
Yes.
So I think it's the overuse that could potentially be causing, because athletes train heavy.
Right.
Athletes train heavy, so that could be one reason why they're having more issue in these areas than others. But it is never good to be sedentary.
Yes.
Never.
Definitely not.
Never.
So, although it's not in the title of the book, Eat, Sleep, Meditate, exercise is a part of the whole process. Well, of course, the exercise will encourage you to eat, sleep, and meditate, because you can meditate while you're on the walk, run that you are doing, or that bit of exercise that you're doing. Easiest with walking and running. And so you have the appetite getting worked up also, so you can go eat. And of course it wears you out, so you can go to sleep, for those that suffer from sleep issues, the insomniacs among us. So a little bit of activity will help, and overall it does help your heart, as you are living proof, literally, of this.
No heart doctor, none. I dare say that no doctor in general,
yes,
who is worth anything, but more so cardiologists, would ever tell anyone not to exercise. In fact, the doctors are telling folks to exercise. Folks are just choosing not to do that. And that is one of the problems that we have now, is that folks are so sedentary. They sit in front of their TV and they eat. And they eat and they sit in front of their TV. And they never do an exercise. We drive everywhere that we're going.
Yes. And park as close to the door as possible.
As close to the door as possible. So we're getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And with this overweight and obesity and this heaviness comes a myriad of other health issues.
Yes.
So no doctor. The thing is that when they do these researches, you got to look at the big picture. You got to look at who is financing the research. What is the reason for this research? Okay, and who financed it? And why are they saying what they're saying? But any physician who's worth their marble, that got a medical degree or a DO or went to school, none of them would ever tell a patient, I dare say, none of them would ever tell a patient that they should not exercise. Now, if you have end-stage heart disease, even if you wanted to exercise, you're not going to be able to exercise, because your heart muscle isn't functioning properly. So you're going to get short of breath and winded, and you're not going to be able to do much of anything. So unfortunately, folks with like severe heart disease and maybe even severe kidney disease, they don't have much tolerance for activity, and they probably will have no choice but to sit around. But barring that, I mean, when we in the hospital setting, when a patient has surgery or they come in for whatever illness it is, one of the first things that the doctor wants you to do is to get them out of that bed. In fact, when you have open heart surgery, the day you have open heart surgery, many hospitals get you up. If you have your surgery early morning, you're out of that bed before the end of the day. And if you have it in the afternoon, by the next morning, you're out of that bed.
So, all right. Because this is a bit of a double-edged sword, in my opinion. Here it is. You have an individual who like you said, end stage. So, is it that they should just pretty much just give up on it at this point? Yeah.
No, it's not that they're going to give up on it, but the fact of the matter is that if your heart is functioning at 10%, okay, that heart is barely pumping, so you don't have any reserve, okay. So even if you try to walk a half a block, you can't do it because your heart rate is going to be fast with the heart trying to compensate. You won't be able to breathe. You just cannot tolerate it. You just can't. So yes, unfortunately, if you have end-stage heart disease, but they have heart transplant now, by the way. So if you're fortunate enough to get a heart transplant, fine. But if you have end-stage heart disease and you're not gonna have tolerance for any exercise, even if you tried, you can't. You just can't do it.
So there's no coming back then.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but failing a heart, I think they have
transplant.
Pumps now that you can, they can pumps. But there's a physician called Dr. Kim Williams. I think he's a cardiologist, and I think he's in Texas. I'm not too sure, but he works with end-stage heart disease patients. I was listening to him. I follow him, and I was listening to him on YouTube the other day. He works with end-stage heart disease patients, and he gives testimonials about people that he has been able to help to get on a healthy path, change their diet to mainly plant-based diet, and have like a cardiac rehab program, and they have recuperated and recovered. So
nice.
Yeah, one can never really write off people because I believe as long as you have breath in your body, there's hope for you to heal.
Yes.
It's just that you have to be willing to do what it takes, and most times it begins with that nutrition, because you could exercise until the day comes home. If you're not eating properly, you're not going to lose weight. No matter how much exercise you do, if you're not eating properly, you're not going to be healthy. Eating healthy and exercise go hand in hand to accomplish weight loss and to prevent health issues and to reverse health issues. You can't have one without the other. You can actually lose weight just eating a low-calorie, healthy diet, okay? But the diet, the good diet with the exercise together is a win-win.
Right. Yeah. And I showed a copy of your book, Eat, Sleep, Meditate, just now, and there is the other book. So there's Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health, and then there is Share. Simple, healthy, easy, inexpensive recipes. That's a recipe book.
Yes.
Both by you, both pretty much living testimonies of your journey.
Yes. I have had in the past, thank God, I think perhaps every one of the systems of my body had either failed or were sick. I mean, if I start from the top of my head, I used to have chronic headaches, chronic sinus and allergy problems, where I would have headaches every day. I used to have depression and anxiety. I could not sleep at night. Many nights I would sleep for 2 hours and I would wake up and I could not go back to sleep, and that would go on for days. I had severe dry eye syndrome. I had vision problems where I had to wear glasses all the time. I don't even wear glasses anymore. I don't wear glasses anymore. Sometimes when I'm driving, I put them on because my driver's license says glasses, because it's from then. Okay, but I don't need them to watch TV. I don't need them to read. I don't need them anymore. So my vision has reversed. I used to have sinus and allergy problems, congested all the time. I had heart disease. I had breathing trouble. I had H. pylori and gastric reflux and irritable bowel syndrome. I had severe menopausal issues, joint pain, muscle pain. I mean, frequent urinary tract infection, women issues. All the systems of my body were severely affected because of
Your
poor
heart condition?
lifestyle. No, poor lifestyle.
Oh.
Because the heart issue, because of poor lifestyle.
Yeah.
Now, once I changed my lifestyle, then all those things have been reversed. I don't have any health issues. None. And I'll be 60 in 22 days.
Yeah, the countdown is on.
Countdown. And I proudly displayed, Kevin, because
Yes.
I want my goal. I wrote these 2 books. And they're on Amazon and Walmart and Barnes and Noble, by the way, for your listeners.
Yes.
I wrote these 2 books, and I would love to be able to sell millions of copies of these books, but that is not the goal.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to show the world that you can be healthy at any age. And no matter how healthy you are, if you want to get well and you're willing to put the work in, you can.
That's right.
You can. Because I know that there are, just this couple of days ago, my adopted dad in Jamaica called me and told me about a family member, 57 years old, just didn't feel well, on her way to the hospital, died. And nothing, life is contingent, right? So there's no guarantee.
Yes.
But I believe that if I take the best care of myself, at least if something happens, I have a fighting chance.
That's right. That's right.
I have a fighting
but
chance.
You have proven that.
Yes.
You know, when you're at 25%, 35% heart efficiency, you know, and come back within a year to 65%, you know, you have proven that you take care of yourself and there will be good outcomes.
Yes. And our bodies, the thing is that, you know, you don't get a second chance. Well, rarely do we get a second chance.
Okay.
Okay. Rarely do we get a second. Some people get a second chance, and many of us don't. Okay.
Some people are cats.
Yes. We ought to take the best care. We ought to take the best care of our body.
Yes.
We only have one body.
Yes.
Yeah, and nobody else can take the best care of my body but me. And the thing is that when we take care of our body, because we're holistic and not just my body, and that's what I also teach, holistic health. Okay? Because you can eat very healthy, but then you don't exercise. It's incomplete. You could eat healthy, you could exercise, but you don't sleep. It's incomplete.
Yes.
You could and then you're stressed out and you worry about the things that you can't change. And you never get a little sunlight. You're not drinking adequate water. Those simple things that help to make us healthy. It all works together.
Indeed, it does. You know, Marva, I want you to tell people, one, how to your website, two, the Facebook group, again, how to get your books, please.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. So my name is Marva Riley. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over 22 years, and I wrote 2 books. The first one is Eat, Sleep, Meditate, a Nurse's Guide to Health, where it's kind of a memoir where I tell you about all these health issues I had, what I did, how I overcame them, and how I was able to reverse them, and to show you how you can do that also. If you don't have any health issues, how to prevent them. And I also have some recipes in that first book. My second book is called SHARE. It's an acronym, SHEIR, and the acronym is for Simple, Healthy, Easy, Inexpensive Recipes. 99% of my recipes are plant-based. and they can be prepared in less than 20 minutes. So you can feed yourself and your family healthy. My books are available through my website, rnmarvariley.com. You can buy the books through my website, or you can go to amazon.com, Walmart, or Barnes and Noble. I also started a Facebook health and wellness support group just a little over a year ago. It's called The Doctor in You, and it's free. And we encourage and motivate and support each other. And I provide a lot of information that I get from reliable sources like Dr. Furman, Dr. Kim, and those people. And you can send me a friend request for the Facebook group, and I'll be happy to have you join. But my passion, Kevin, is to point people in the direction of health. Because, chronic health issues like high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, kidney problems, cholesterol problems have become a worldwide crisis.
Yes.
And it's primarily because of the bad food that we're eating, the fast food that we're eating. We're stressed out, we're not getting any exercise, or we're not sleeping at night. Okay, so it's time we take charge of our health.
That's right.
Or health is only, no matter how much money you have, and if you don't have your health, you have absolutely nothing. So it's time to start taking care of your health. And that's what I will try to help you to do, because only you can do it now.
That's right.
Through my books, and my books only cost $10 each. I mean, it's less than the price of a Starbucks coffee.
Yeah. And we know that those Starbucks products can be quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Not giving them any free advertising or anything like that, but just so that people can see what you look like. Let's put up one of your older pictures. You should check her out now. That's what Marva Riley looks like. Nurse Marva Riley. That's what she looks like right there. But there's nothing like looking at her in present state. And once you join the Doctor in You, you will see her working out. Check out her website. Get in touch. Because I can present to you information that I have found. She can present to you information that she has lived. Which one would you go with? Which one would you rather go with? Really? Regardless of how I may sound, how I may look, how I may present the information, which one would you want to go with?
Mm-hmm.
My bet, my personal choice, I'm going with hers. Any day, any time, anyhow. I don't, it doesn't, unless you have had a situation where you have suffered worse, you died and came back or something, there's nothing you can tell me that is going to make me say, well, I believe you over Marva Riley. I'm going with Marva.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to my bed.
Yeah. I'm not going with you there.
Take care, and thanks for having me.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for the info.
Bye-bye.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye-bye now.
Okay. There's Marva Riley. Listen, I don't even know what to tell you after someone like Marva Riley has shared with us. The energy center of any human being, of course, is their heart. Now, of course, you have your vital organs that you need to function, quote unquote, normally. You need your lungs, you need your stomach, you need your brain, you need your heart, you need your intestines, and they all work together to give you a complete you. Your brain stop, you can still live. You'd be brain dead. your heart stops, you'll be dead. Dead. You know, it's not like, oh, you just heart dead and you're being kept alive. But no, you're dead. So if there's a way that you can take care of your heart, why not do it? And exercise is one of the best ways, but not the only way, because you need to do some other things too. And you heard Marva mention some of those other things. We're talking about some of them when Marva called, you know, the exercise, aerobic exercises, resistance training, stretching and flexibility, even some balance. But there is one question that has always been on the lips of everyone. Is sex exercise? And I know some people did double takes on, did Stu just ask that question? Yes, I just did ask that question. And I would have taken a break earlier, but we're going to roll through it. healthharvard.edu had put out this article back in October of 2019. And the question is sex exercise and is it hard on the heart? And so they go on to look at some scientific answers. Because, you know, of course, this is Harvard, Ivy League University. So, what did they find? What were some of their findings? 773-789-STU gets you in touch. By the way, just call me. Text, WhatsApp, Telegram. The lines are always open. 773-789-7839. At some time in his life, nearly every man gets exercised about sex. And as many men get older, they wonder if sex is a good form of exercise or is it just too strenuous for the heart. And these questions may sound like locker room banter, but they're actually quite important. And no, they have solid scientific answers. So, according to this article back in 2019, there are some answers. Treadmill versus mattress. And to evaluate the cardiovascular effects of sexual activity, researchers monitored volunteers while they walked on a treadmill in the lab and during private sexual activity at home. In addition to 13 women, the volunteers included 19 men with an average age of 55. About 3/4 of the men were married, and nearly 70% had some form of cardiovascular disease. 53% were taking beta blockers. Despite their cardiac histories, the men reported exercising about 4 times a week, and they reported having sexual activity about 6 times a month on average. Researchers monitored heart rate and blood pressure during standard treadmill exercises test, and during usual, we're getting too extreme with it, usual sexual activity with a familiar partner at home. And all the sex acts concluded with vaginal intercourse and male orgasm. I don't know if that was a requirement in the test or that's just how it worked out. Disappointingly, perhaps, the treadmill proved more strenuous. Yeah, guys, we're running out of excuses to use to probably get, I was going to say to get ahead, but yeah. I digress. On an intensity scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the highest, men evaluated treadmill exercise as 4.6 and sex as 2.7. Sex was even less strenuous for women in terms of heart rate, blood pressure, and the perceived intensity of exertion. So, I guess the treadmill trumps the mattress with usual activity, because they did put that in quotations, usual. Now, I don't know if you can ramp up the activity in the bedroom to make it equivalent to the treadmill, that is, I guess, individual based. Now, men seem to spend more energy thinking and talking about sex than on the act itself. And during sexual intercourse, a man's heart rate rarely gets above 130 beats per minute. And his systolic blood pressure, the higher number recorded when the heart is pumping blood, nearly always stays under 170. All in all, average sexual activity ranks as mild to moderate in terms of exercise intensity. As for oxygen consumption, it comes in at about 3.5 mets, which is metabolic equivalence, which is about the same as doing the foxtrot, raking leaves, or playing ping pong. Well, hey, listen, don't sleep on the ping pong. It's a real workout. Now, sex burns about 5 calories a minute, and that's 4 more than a man uses to watch TV. But it's about the same as walking the course to play golf. So if a man can walk up 2 or 3 flights of stairs without any difficulty, then he should be in pretty good shape for sex. 2 or 3 flights of stairs. Now, I read somewhere years ago that average orgasm was used the equivalent amount of energy of climbing 10 flights of stairs. That's just the orgasm. So, I don't know. The act plus the finale, you're looking at about 12, 13 flights of stairs in energy consumption. So, that should be a bit of a workout right there, shouldn't it? Now, raking leaves may increase a man's oxygen consumption, but it probably won't get his motor running. Sex, of course, is different, and the excitement and stress might well pump out extra adrenaline, but mental excitement and physical exercise increase adrenaline levels and can trigger heart attacks and arrhythmias. Abnormalities of the heart pumping rhythm is what arrhythmias are, right? So the question is, can the same happen in the bedroom? In theory, yes, but in practice, very uncommon. At least during conventional acts with a partner, a familiar partner. Maybe an unfamiliar one may raise the excitement level because of anxiety, but with a familiar partner, I guess what they're saying, as according to this article, courtesy of Harvard, it's mediocre at best. Now, careful studies show that fewer than 1 of every 100 heart attacks is related to sexual activity. And for fatal arrhythmias, the rate is just 1 in 200. Put it another way, for a healthy 50-year-old man, the risk of having a heart attack in any given hour is about 1 in a million. Sex doubles the risk. So, it's about 2 in a million. For men with heart disease, the risk is 10 times higher. But even for them, the chance of suffering a heart attack during sex is just about 20 in 1 million. So, is sex out as it relates to someone with a heart condition? No. They're good to go. There's nothing to worry about in that department. So, what's going on here? I had an article here that I wanted to present some information from it. Not that one. This was some surprising benefits. Here we go. Real quick, because I'm going to give you some musical therapy that you can chill out to, right? Since we looked at exercise and we questioned sexual activity as it relates to affecting the heart, we still need to look at one of the three things mentioned in Marva's first book: eating. So, what food is considered good for your heart? Well, the best foods for your heart, and I've touched on this before, but guess what? I will touch on it again and again and again, because it's important information, and important information is worth repeating. So here we go. Foods that are excellent for heart health. Salmon. It is high in omega-3 fatty acids, which can decrease your risk of abnormal heartbeats. It can lower triglyceride levels. It can slow the growth of plaque in your arteries and slightly lower blood pressure. The American Heart Association recommends 2 servings of omega-3 rich foods like salmon each week. A serving of 3.5 ounces of cooked fish is what that is equivalent to. And salmon is a versatile food. You can grill it with a rub or marinade. You can chop some and add it to a pasta with fat-free marinara sauce. You can add it to salads. There are numerous ways that you can get your salmon in. There is ground flaxseed, and this also has omega-3s, and along with being both soluble and insoluble fiber, providing both insoluble and soluble fiber, it has one of the highest available sources of lignans, which have both plant estrogen and antioxidant qualities. Ground flaxseed is easy to incorporate into your diet and can be mixed into just about anything that you normally eat. I used to sprinkle it on just about all my food. I just ran out of it and I didn't replenish my stock. So, what about flaxseed oil then? Well, it is loaded with omega-3s, but they are less effective type. The omega-3s that the flaxseed oil has tend to be the less effective type, known as ALA, which is alpha linoleic acid. And this needs special enzymes to be converted to omega-3. And those enzymes are found in your body in limited supply. And that means at most you can expect about 15% of your flaxseed oil omega-3s to be converted into its most useful form. So it's just going to pass through your system. While you certainly do get some benefit, it is less than your supplement label would actually suggest. So just go with the actual flaxseed. Ground, of course. There's oatmeal, which is, of course, loved by most people. Yours truly. I just love oatmeal. And they are not a good source of the omega-3 fatty acids. And it is a fiber superstar, as according to onhealth.com. Offering 4 grams in every 1 cup serving, it also has nutrients like magnesium, potassium, and iron. We've talked about these elements being important in the diet over the past, I would say, 6 weeks. We've been talking about it. Oatmeal is a filling breakfast, and you can top it with fresh berries for an even more heart-healthy meal. And you can try fat-free oatmeal cookies, oat bread, or mixed rolled oats into a turkey burger meatloaf. That sounds interesting. Do I want to try that? Then there are black or kidney beans, which most people from the Caribbean consume beans, kidney beans, black beans all the time anyway. So there is a schoolyard chant: beans, beans, good for your heart. Turns out true. It turns out to be true. That I don't know that particular chant. Beans, beans, good for your heart. Never heard it. until I read this particular article. But beans have lots of fiber, B complex vitamins, niacin, folate, magnesium, calcium, and what we've been talking about all night since we touched on this topic, omega-3 fatty acids. Beans are so versatile, you can include them in soups, stews, or salads. Yes, you can have beans with me. Or you can make a meal out of them. Try black beans on whole grain pita tostada with avocado, or combine them with corn kernels and onion and stuff them into some bell peppers, and boom bang bing, you're off to the races with some good foods. You can add kidney beans, canned kidney beans at that, to a salad of cucumber, fresh corn, onions, and peppers. Then toss with olive oil and apple cider vinegar. That sounds interesting, though, for real. Or you can bring black beans and kidney beans together for a delicious, nutritious vegetarian chili. That is quite filling. Then you have almonds. Gotta love almonds. I ran out of almond butter. But I do have almond milk. So, and that's the other thing. My 2 milks, oat milk, almond milk. Those are the 2 milks I will consume in a week. So, and I alternate them for variety. I do need to get some almond butter though. I need to replenish my almond butter stock. But nuts have been known and shown to lower blood cholesterol. And for a heart healthy nut, almond is up there at the top of the list. It's a great choice. They contain plant omega-3 fatty acids. So you see a recurring theme here, right? Vitamin E, magnesium, calcium, fiber, and heart favorable monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. We want those. Our hearts like those. In fact, our hearts love those. So I guess you could say our heart those. But almonds are easy to eat. You know, you can eat them as is, put them on yogurt, you can eat them on your salads, crush them, chop them up fine, use them in smoothies. The possibilities are endless. Be sure your almonds are raw or dry roasted, instead of being oil roasted. And you want to don't go crazy with it. Keep your portion sizes in mind. And one of the very things that is true when it comes to just about anything you're consuming, you want to do it in moderation. Whether it is information, water, food, exercise, your partner, whatever, in moderation. Because the moment you overdo it is the moment things start to go south. And again, you can die from water poisoning. Too much water will kill you, outside of drowning you. So, you know, you can overdo it with some things. Try not to. It is best to try not to. We're gonna get into musical therapy. I don't even know where we're starting with musical therapy tonight. But one thing is for certain. We do need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of the one thing that can keep us going or just stop us dead in our tracks, literally. Our hearts. And if you have questions, feel free to go to your physician and talk with them. And if you're questioning what they say, what they're saying, if you have questions to yourself about what they're saying, go get a second opinion. You know, it is well within your rights to do so. You're talking about your body. We are the ones responsible for our bodies individually. And if you want to talk with someone who has been at death's door and worked their way back holistically. You heard her on this broadcast just a few moments ago. And you can hear her over and over again. You can reach out to her. You can text with her. You can contact her. Just go to her website. Go to follow her on social media. Find her group, The Doctor in You. Find RN Marva Riley on find the website. Right? So contacts are out there. Get the books, Eat, Sleep, Meditate, or Share. Simple, easy, inexpensive recipes. Simple, healthy, easy, inexpensive recipes. SHEIR. Both available everywhere. Just search for it. You'll find them. Or just go to our website. So all these things I gave to you tonight. It's a lot of information that I shared with you. But it comes back to one thing. We need to take care of our hearts. And we can do so easily. We start with changing our lifestyle. Thank you to McNeil Trucking for sponsoring this segment called Musical Therapy. And we kick it off with the mighty duo, Ed Robinson and Joanna Marie.
Walks in and out.
Their rendition of Suddenly.
Hero, taking it. My hopes begin to rise.
Look at me. Can't you tell? I'd be so thrilled to see the message in your eyes.
You make it seem I'm so close to my dream, and suddenly it's all there.
Suddenly, the winds are in motion, and I'm ready to set action. Suddenly, I don't need the answers, 'cause I'm ready to take all my chances with you.
Hey cuz, how you doing?
How can I feel you're all that matters when I rely on everything you say?
Take care, that's no illusion. Shatter if you dare to say what you should say.
You make it seem I'm so close to my dream, and suddenly it's all there.
Suddenly, the winds are in motion, and I'm ready to set action. Suddenly, I don't need the answers, 'cause I'm ready to take all my chances with you.
Why do I feel so alive when you're near? There's no way any hurt can get through.
Longing to spend every moment of the day with you. Suddenly, the winds are in motion, and I'm ready to set action. Suddenly, I don't need the answers, 'cause I'm ready to take all my chances with you. Suddenly, the winds are in motion, and I'm ready to set action. Suddenly, I don't need the answers, 'cause
We will fear no evil plan. In these times of
sound of Christina Alicia.
Where one seems to lose their
Track called Hold Strong.
one stand up. Them have a plan, yet still no one can find them peace. What will be will always be. Settle down and be at peace. This you know is for the righteous ones, 'cause nothing new is under the sun. Just sit to be clear. This is no time to pay. The righteous ones will be there. The gates of Zion, no, and be covered. Mama, don't you cry. Big man, dry your eye. Hold strong. Hold strong. Nothing wrong can make you feel like nothing purpose for you and for me. But disease in the heart is the first to kill any dream. Don't be fooled by the hype and the greed. Be patient and time will reveal what is true will soon be seen, and then we'll set you free. Jaja City be clear. This is no time to pay. The righteous ones will be there. The gates of Zion now and be covered. 'Cause mama, don't you cry. Big man, dry your eye. Hold strong. Hold strong. Mama, don't you cry. Big man, dry your eyes. Hold strong. Hold strong. Jaja City be This is no time to
It's morning in Gideon, living in a this your time. Jaja give we strength, so we do more than survive. World they in a crisis, but we still have drive. Who no understand, I wonder why. C-A-A. Alright. Well, it's morning in Gideon, living in a this your time. DJ Kevin Stewart on the radio every time.
Zone of Cesar.
It's morning in Gideon, living in a this your time. Jaja give we strength, so we do more than survive. World they in a
Track is called Morning in Gideon.
drive. Who no understand, I wonder why. Fox News and CNN, breaking news a bag of lie. More them a divide, the more they make from advertise. Seek your overstanding before you pick a side. More people sleepwalking than thousands who have died. Some saying it's a pandemic, some swearing it's a pandemic. The real problem is systemic, the struggle is not endemic. And if you look behind the myths and match the riff and check the mix, the greatest of effects we risk is really soul and mind. They mix. So tell me this, how can we fix the world for all the future kids? We can't do it, just blaming it and all them dirty valley tricks. Oh, what time are we for shine and change the script line after line? But every time we get the light, we do it the same. I wonder why. Keep your heads high. Keep your heads high. Keep your heads high. Baby, keep your heads high. Keep your heads high.
children. There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place would be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll find there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if we care enough for living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place.
This is the sound of Neri.
You and for me.
His rendition of Heal the World.
See, in this place we can feel the fear of dread. Stop existing and start living. No, feel like always. Love's enough for us growing. Make it a better place. Make it a better world. Make it a better place. For you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying if they care enough for living. Make a better place for you and for me. And the dream we're conceiving will reveal a joyful face. In the world we once believed in, we shall again embrace. Then why do we keep strangling life? Would the earth crucify its soul? Though it's plain to see, this world is heavenly. Make us love. We can fly so high, and our spirits never die. In my heart, I know you are all my brothers. Create a world with no fear. Together we'll cry happy tears. See the nations turn their swords and guns into bloodshed. Oh, we can really get there if we care enough for living. Make it a better place. Make it a better world. Make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying if they care enough for living. Make a better place for you and for me.
This is the sound of Mauricio Diaz. The track is called Celebre Ore. Translated, Celebrate the King.
O rei está sentindo saudade dos seus filhos. Mandou seus mensageiros, leve sua carta. Percorre em todos os lugares, enfrenta os rios e mares.
Suas montes e desça os penhascos, dando voz alta até que seja ouvido o que o rei tem escrito. Ele sente falta dos seus filhos, encontrarão que se havia perdidos. Mas o rei chora, chora, chora por cada um de nós. Vinde todos nós cansados, oprimidos, criança, jovem, velho. Deixa os seus prazeres, voltemos juntos a alegrar o coração do vosso rei, do vosso rei, do vosso rei.
Rei, louve ao rei, celebre ao rei. Vinde todos vós cansados, oprimidos. O vosso rei vos aliviará, o vosso rei vos aliviará. Rei, louve ao rei, celebre ao rei. Vinde todos vós cansados, oprimidos, o vosso rei vos aliviará, o vosso rei vos aliviará. O rei está sentindo saudade dos seus filhos, mandou seus mensageiros, leve sua carta, percorre em todos os lugares, enfrenta os rios e mares. Suas notícias aos penhascos dando voz alta até que seja ouvido o que o rei tem escrito. Ele sente falta dos seus filhos, encontrarão o que se havia perdido. Mas o rei chora, chora, chora por cada um de nós. Vinde todos nós cansados, oprimidos, criança, jovem, velho. Deixa os seus prazeres, voltemos juntos a alegrar o coração do vosso rei, do vosso rei, do vosso rei. Rei, louve ao rei, celebre ao rei. Vinde todos vós cansados, oprimidos, o vosso rei vos aliviará, o vosso rei vos aliviará. Rei, louve ao rei, celebre ao rei. Vinde todos vós cansados, oprimidos, o vosso rei vos aliviará, o vosso rei vos aliviará.
This is the sound of Al Third. Al Third taking us out tonight. A track called Live It Up. As we go off on our journey to live it up, I want to thank everyone locked in tonight. Thank everyone that shared. Thank all my affiliates. One Harmony Radio, Island Worldwide, NIE Radio, the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, Allowap Radio, Dusik Media Group, WGLRO, PEMGTV.com, Zeno FM. Thank you all. Truly appreciate, love you. Thank you to my sponsors, Paul C Media Group, Althea and Healing Heavenly Hands, Althea SU, Reggae Global Entertainment, and McNeil Trucking. Thank you all. Do remember, look out for members of your community. And do understand that your community is not just development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, on the plane, the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. The ones that you pass along the way, of course. So do something good for one of them today. You never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stew, so I like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday right here, kevinstew.com, 10 p.m. Eastern. Wake up like a hippie to the sunrise. I wanna live it up. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you all a good night. Until we do it again tomorrow, 10 p.m., all being well, we close out the night shift week with Real Talk. Y'all take care of yourselves, be good. If you can't be good at it. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk. from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.